Hi there, talking today about this traditional folding knife from the Nieto knife company in Spain. This is the, what is this model called? This is the Pegaso, but there's also another word for it. So you've got a Navaja linear. So the Navaja was the knife pattern, and I think the Pegaso is the specific knife that it is. So, or perhaps it's the other way around. Perhaps the Pegaso is the knife pattern, and the Navaja is the use of the materials, perhaps. Speaking of materials, you've got a violet wood handle which has been stabilized, so it does have that sort of micaterish feel from being blended with a resin. The blade is a proprietary steel, which is what's interesting about this company, called AN58. You see that there on the blade. There we go. So it's AN58. It is a stainless steel, and it's a drop point blade with a hollow grind. You can see the light curving around the hollow there. It's got stainless steel liners, and it's got a thin layer of red G10. I think it's G10 or something similar, just between the handle and the liner. Notice a nice file work there on the back, very even. Got some cool little detail there. Probably anything more would have been a little bit too busy for me, but I think it looks great. Very nice looking knife, and really comfortable in the hand. I'm not used to, I don't usually play with knives that sort of control how I hold it, and by that I mean these two finger grooves here. I usually prefer a less, sort of a handle more similar to the Spyderco, with just much more subtle guiding of the hand. Still the most comfortable handle, I think. This one is a little bit thicker and bulkier. It feels a bit more like a fixed blade knife handle. And it certainly has sort of more going on in it. It's a bit more busy looking, but very comfortable. It sort of fits my hand perfectly, so index finger, two fingers, and then the pinky with some room to spare. Been really happy with the steel as well. The steel seems to be about the same, very similar properties to this VG10. Seems rather rusted at this stage. Not a little on the softer side when you compare it to your powdered steels, but it's definitely held an edge rather well. And I came with the factory edge. The factory edge was moderate. I used that up pretty quick to where it wouldn't cut paper anymore. Then I put it on the work sharp, put the work sharp's little 50-degree inclusive convex on it, which is a good sort of outdoor knife grind, not as delicate. And then I took that and I did probably about 3 days worth of pretty reasonable cardboard cutting, and that's when it needed to be resharpened because it wasn't cutting the paper again in the paper cut test. So, and that's about the same result I get with VG10. I probably sharpen this Spyderco once a month, and with normal use that's probably about how this one would feel too. I did muck up the tip when I was sharpening it. I should be able to fix it, but the tip should be slightly sharper looking than that. It's sort of been rounded off by the work sharp. You have to be careful with belt sharpening systems or any sort of machine sharpening system, because stuff can happen quick when you aren't right on the ball. As you can see, I've also put a little bit of a wave in there. Perhaps just taken too much of the blade off. Hollow grinds as well, you have to be careful of. There just isn't the material, so they're a bit less forgiving to belt sharpen. At any rate, I'm really happy with the knife. Some negatives about it, I suppose, probably quite obvious when you compare it to the Spyderco here. The Spyderco's got a clip and a lanyard hole. It's a modern knife though. This one is a traditional knife, it has neither. So truly for pocket carry, but it's got a nice rounded profile, and the knife does tuck tidily into there, and you can't catch the tip with anything, so it's not going to come open in your pocket. The lockup is particularly strong. There's no blade play side to side or up and down. Another thing though, if there was, then you wouldn't really have much you could do about it, because it's not an accessible knife. Like the modern knives would give you torque screw accessibility, this one doesn't. So very much traditional. I think I've said you pay about $70 for this exact knife, US dollars. You see some ridiculous prices for them on eBay though. I think when they get a couple of different special handle materials, they almost double the price sometimes. But all Nieto knives, well, all that I've come across use this proprietary steel, so you're always getting a pretty good steel. So even if you're just keen on testing that and you're a bit of a steel fan, it might be one to look at anyway. Okay, so another little size reference, I'll just put it next to a Swiss Army knife that's open. There we go. So you see there, it's sort of a fairly large and stout, feeling very durable feeling carrying knife. Probably best in a hunting application in a sheath, I would say, just due to the really good grip and the general size and heft of the thing. Alright, thanks very much for watching, guys.